I don't ever post out pre-conversation before the conversation. It's just so that it's rolling. I ain't gotta get up and stop. But what is going on? We are back here finally for another podcast episode. Here with the mayor, the man, the myth, the legend. What's happening with your G Money?
Oh, welcome. Glad to be back with the podcast. Shut up and be quiet. We're talking over here. It's been a minute since we've been home, but we back in full effect. Ready for the summertime weather. I'm ready.
Oh yeah, definitely ready for summertime weather.
Yeah, and this is my time of year. You can't keep in the house during the summertime, so I'm going to enjoy the weather, enjoy the sights, enjoy the scenery, and enjoy life. And that's what we're here to talk about today. Enjoying your life and making sure you're living quiet and peaceable life, and making sure that you live a positive life. And we want to give y'all some encouragement on how to do that today.
Yes, indeed. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Just how things that bring you happiness, joy, and how you can share that with your family and people that you encounter too. Because we all know a lot of sad stuff happening, a lot of bad stuff happening in the world right now. And we as a collective community, we need to lift each other up more. Instead of just promoting all the bad stuff, we can. It's good stuff we can promote too, and things we can do to just show like, hey, we got each other's back. You know what I'm saying? And just be that positive light, because you don't know who's watching your life. You don't know who's looking up to you, who's looking at you. You know, and they see like, man, if this person has a positive outlook on life, you know, maybe I can change mine, you know, or maybe I can do mine a little bit better. So just things like that. So that's what we want to share with y'all today.
Absolutely. You brought out a good point. You don't know who's watching you. And some people are watching from afar. And if they see something that they like in you, that they would like to, you know, be like, or something that encourages them, I suggest that you continue doing those positive things. Not just in your home, but outside your home. And your greatest influence is on your seed and your children. And you don't want to give them all negative energy or anything negative that will ruin them and enlarge their negativity. The main thing you want to do as an example is try to lead a positive example, especially for your children.
Yeah.
Your children are going to watch everything you do, and someone would try to do what you do. I can recall an incident one time that my oldest son called himself following my lead. I was a little upset, and I kicked the door, and he came behind me and kicked the door. And I'm telling you, these are things you don't want your children to see you do, and then you want to chastise them for something that you did wrong, but they did wrong also.
Right.
But it was the same thing. Had you not done it in front of them,
There's a good chance they wouldn't have done it.
and I say that to say this, even in today's society, I'm no longer raising children because mine are grown and raising their own children now. But in today's society, don't do negative things in front of the children if you don't want them to do them.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, when I was growing up, my mother used to always say, don't do as I do as I say. Well, we understood that coming from her back then, but that's not the way life should be.
Right.
Because if I'm going to do what you say, I'm also going to do what you do.
Right.
And if I see you doing it, whether it's good or bad, I'm going to try it because you're doing it.
Right. And you're my role model, so yeah, I'm gonna do what you
You
do.
have that influence over me. So a lot of people, you know, have lost lives. A lot of people in prison. And a lot of people just aren't where they want to be in life because they saw negative things around them.
Right.
And they figured, well, okay, if that person can do it, then I can do it. Especially if you get away with doing it.
Right.
And nobody is correcting it. So we're here today to tell you, try to look at the positive influence of life, because life is a beautiful thing.
It's a gorgeous thing.
And it's worth living.
It really is, and it's no sense in being miserable in its existence, because you only have one life. Ain't no sense of being miserable, downtrodden, nothing like that. I know we all gonna experience life trials, tribulations. That's gonna happen.
Yes.
But at the same time, you don't have to dwell in that part.
Yes.
You can overcome that and use that to help somebody else. Because it's something that I've been learning too. Like, we all go through things in life. Sometimes you don't go through it for you.
Yes.
Life is bigger than just you. You going through it. You may be going through something to help somebody else get through it. But at the same time, if you can get through it with actual joy and genuine love, people say, "Oh, maybe there's something to this."
Yes, yes. Even in my own personal life, I got shot down a long time ago, about 35 years ago. But I see it like this: the Lord took a tragic situation and turned it into a triumph situation. I'm still alive to this day, and I was able to raise my sons with the help of my wife after that happened, and they're living a positive life now. And I thank God that that tragic situation turned into triumph, because it turned me from being a negative or doing negative things in life to start doing more positive things, like looking to the hills for which cometh my help.
Right.
And my help come from the Lord, and I've been seeking God ever since. And I was just telling my son that I was seeking the Lord earlier, but I ran into not what I would say a snag, but I ran into what we would say a negative influence, and that negative influence caused me not to seek the Lord earlier than what I did, because I was really, really seeking the Lord for some positive things, because a lot of negative things was happening in life that I wasn't proud of doing myself, and I certainly didn't want my sons to grow up doing it. And I can raise my hand to God and say, I thank God that they didn't follow in my negative footsteps, because I was able to get that away from them, you know. And I say it now today, and I used to say it a while back. My mom raised me right, but I chose to do wrong.
Yeah.
And most of us do. So if you have a good parent in your home, or good parents, listen to your parents. Look at the positive things in life. And even your own friends, if you got friends growing up, don't follow the negative friends. Don't follow the influences that you know will lead you into trouble. Follow those positive influences out there. I'm speaking generally to a generation that's behind me and that's coming up behind me, because my generation, I hope y'all know about this.
Yeah.
Not that I'm neglecting to share, because this is a live broadcast and it goes across all of social media. So I just want people that my age that came up in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, let's be positive influences for the generation behind us. It's too much negativity in the world, as we can see.
Way too much. And it's way too much, and it's so prevalent because it's so put out in the forefront. Because I don't know if it's a societal thing or what, but negativity creates money for some reason. Negativity creates more clicks, more looks, more views, therefore generates more revenue, because people like saying it's awful, but people like saying car crashes. People love seeing a car crash. And then you like seeing the remnants of the car crash too. Even a real car crash, what happened? People looking, hanging around, almost getting accidents themselves to see that situation.
Yes. And not knowing that car crash could cause one to have many people's lives.
Right. You have no idea.
Yes, yes.
You have no clue the ramifications of said car crash, but like, let me see what happened. No. Why are you? Well, pray that the people are all right. And you going about your business, because it ain't your business. If the people are there to help, they're supposed to help, why are you there slowing down? Ain't got nothing to do with you at that point.
Yes.
That is not your job.
Yeah. It's just too many things. I mean, we're at war. We're not at war in our country, but we have our hands with other countries that are at war. We're not supporting the war, but we are actually funding it. So that's support.
Now that's wild to me. The fact that we can fund a war that we not even fighting in. I'm like, wait a minute. And it's all being talked about, and so I mean, war is I've